Hello everyone. The political party this time is the People's Movement for Change. The Honorable Gary Juffa, the parliamentary leader of that party, and Governor of Oro, the Northern Province, is our guest. In the program, Your Vote Matters. Let's do this, Governor. Oro.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's talk about Oro. It's the language there for welcome.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
I mean, you could say something else, but it's Oro. What's the meaning of that? I mean, it's a language of some tribe, some group in there?
It is a language spoken by a number of tribes there,
Okay.
including mine. I'm from the Hunjara-speaking tribe. We also say Oro, but so do the Binandera people, so do the Aika people, so do the Kaiva people. But I want to say that it's most likely the Kaiva people who have used this and promoted this phrase, and all of us have sort of adopted it.
And the province has that name.
Correct. And other ethnic tribes also use the same phrase. And it's a phrase of welcoming. Basically, when you hear someone say Oro, it makes you feel welcome. You know, if you go to a house or if you go to a village and there's silence and people don't welcome you by saying anything, and you feel a sense of unease and hostility.
Feel out of place.
Yeah, so to break the ice, normally women would greet you, and men, they would come out at the top of their voices. Sometimes they'd be singing, beating drums to welcome you in.
Let's break the ice about you now. I mean, Gary Juffa, tall, we see you walking, a tall person, member of parliament. Tell us about yourself. We don't know much about you. Where were you when you were a kid? Were you in Oro Kaiva, or where was it?
Well, I was raised in Oro Province, in Kokoda, on a portion of land by a cash crop farmer who happened to be my grandfather and who adopted me and raised me as his own son. Up until I was about 4 years old, and then I went back to my mother, who was a nursing officer, and she was posted around PNG. She was posted throughout most of the highlands, and Momase, in Bougainville, and I followed her around in those places.
Okay. So your mother is Papua New Guinean.
Correct.
Your father, you're a mixed percentage, of course.
Correct.
Yes. Tell us about that. I mean.
Well, my father, he's Irish Australian, and he was posted in Western Province. He was working for my uncle Jack, who, well, we call him uncle, but he happened to be an ex-Australian Navy officer who after World War II had been traveling around the world and then decided to come to Western Province. And he had a shop there, Trader Jack's. And he used to go up and down the Fly River, shooting crocodiles, buying crocodile skin. And his younger sister, Joan Murphy, who is my grandmother, sent her son, also named Gary, to Western Province. And he was working there on the boats with his uncle. And my mother happened to be a nursing student who was posted there, and that's how they met. Okay. And when I was born, my grandfather came and took me. There was a dispute between my father and mother, and my grandfather resolved that dispute by taking me to Oro Province, and I was raised there. Okay.
And eventually became a member of parliament from Oro. How about that?
Yes.
All right, and the rest is history.
Yes, I spent a lot of time in Mendi, in Yalibu, Western Highlands, and in Minch. So I'm very closely associated to a lot of people from these areas that I've known since childhood. And I have.
So that makes me feel very, very comfortable now, I suppose. Well, I'm from the Western Highlands.
In the Western Highlands, from Tomba and that area. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you are. That's something I didn't know, and it's good to know that.
Thank you.
All right. You're now a member of parliament. You're the governor of Oro, or Northern Province. When you're in parliament, when you're walking around, you seem to wear black, and you seem to have something around your neck, whether it be a shell or a pig's husk or something. What's all that about?
Well, firstly, I wear the pig tusks or a necklace to symbolize the fact that I am speaking on behalf of my people. So in our culture, we have something called otohu, which is conferred to a person who is given the opportunity to speak on behalf of his clan or his tribe. And it is a tribal process whereby someone who is deemed to have the skills and the ability to speak can do so on behalf of their clan or tribe. It matters to do with politics, it matters to do with land disputes, or ceremonial matters.
So it's a chieftain gesture.
Yes, I'm not calling myself that, but mainly because I've been elected, I put that as a symbol so that I can remind myself why I'm in Parliament. The weight of this, the sight of it reminds me that I'm there speaking on behalf of my people. So, and I used to watch Parliament and admire Sir Peter Luce. He was one of our most vocal members of Parliament, and he always had a pig tusk that he wore to Parliament. Yes. And I felt that since Peter Luce is no longer there, someone ought to do this, so that we are constantly reminded of our roles and responsibilities and also our culture. We should never forget where we come from. Otherwise, how else will we know where we are going?
Okay, all right.
And I used to wear the pig tusk because that's from my area, but I started to wear a lot of the necklaces that's from other tribes as well, So when they give me gifts, then I wear it in Parliament.
Nothing to do with politics or anything?
No, nothing to do with politics. It's just, to symbolize that I represent all the people in my province, from all parts. Because we have a highland area and we have a coastal area as well.
Sure, so they grow coffee in the highlands too.
That's correct. They grow coffee in Afore and Kokoda.
Yep.
It's about 3 hours to the coast. I remember once when my grandfather took a truck and took all my tribesmen down to Oro Bay once, and they all brought bottles of Coke, empty bottles, so they could fill up seawater, because some of them were fascinated by the sea. One of my cousins took a starfish. He thought it was a rock. He took it back to the village, and after a few days, it started to rot. And everyone said, "What's this terrible smell?" And he brought out it's this stone. And he said, "It's not a stone, that's a living thing." So someone who was from the coast, reminded
All right. Okay. The people of Oro have recognized you, respected you, I suppose, 2 terms in Parliament. This is the 3rd term you're seeking. Have you nominated?
Correct.
How do you feel?
I feel good. I nominated on Friday. I went with 2 of my other candidates that my party is, or our party is sponsoring or endorsing. One for the Popondetta Urban, the new seat, and one for Sohe. So we went and nominated on Friday. It was a symbolic nomination. I normally just walk there by myself, but oftentimes if people want to walk, they're free to do so. We had tribes and supporters from all 4 corners of the province wanting to come, but we just brought a small group, and we said, "No, look, John, I want these elections not to cost our people. They've been hammered by COVID, so I'm saying, stay home as much as possible. Don't kill your chickens and pigs and goats and spend your money. You know who you're going to vote for. Just observe the, statements being made, and judge, analyze the candidates, and understand what's happening, and vote according to your heart."
Next on Your Vote Matters.
I believe there are 3 women who are putting their hand up for the regional seat.